right. What's up, everybody? I'm here for office hours this week, and we have a special guest, Ozeal DeBastos, and he runs a podcast network. He is friends and colleagues with a bunch of people in the Houston kind of content creation scene, and I cannot wait to get to know you. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, Trey, thanks for the invite. To be here, man. I know when it comes to Houston, such a big city, but I always tease my friends, especially my creator friends. It's a big city, but it's a small circle, and we all know each other. So good to meet another fellow creative.
Yeah, man. So why don't you just introduce yourself and tell me about like the business that you've created for yourself?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, Trey. Let's see, where do I begin? Well,
Yeah, where do you begin?
I was born in 19. No, just kidding. No. So just a little bit of just kind of my background. So I've been in the podcasting space for over 10 years. Before that, prior, I was a musician. I was a lead vocalist, MC for a hip hop funk band. From there, I got introduced to podcasting because during the music days, I was introduced to branding and marketing. And, as an indie artist, we have to promote ourselves, to brand ourselves, learn how to put together a website, build community. And I always say that they couldn't keep me away from the microphone. So I decided that podcasting was the next platform to be able to do that. So I started podcasting. Started a podcast on creative entrepreneurship, started helping others launch their own podcast, started a community in 2018 under Pod Houston, which is the network here in Houston. It's a community of indie podcast creators where we, help to create a space for education, connection and collaboration, going strong, over 5,000 members. Yeah, man, it's just been a true honor to be in this creator space and watch it grow into what it's become now, what they call it, the creator economy. It's just a true honor to be a part of that, man.
So have you always been a creative person? Did you?
It's interesting. It's an interesting question. I remember always being envious of my friends who knew how to draw. I remember growing up, I was like, I want to learn how to draw for some reason. That was always
Sure. Oh, because they were the coolest people.
They were the coolest people.
Yeah, they could make an awesome drawing of Spider-Man or
yes,
a car. I
yes.
was so jealous of the people that could draw Porsche.
Okay, you too. Okay, I'm not alone. Yeah. So I was that kid for sure. I was actually into, it's funny you mentioned comic books because I was a big comic book head, and I had a bunch of comic books, and I see my friends always draw these cool Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk. I'm like, I want to be like you. So I was trying so hard to be that person. But anyways, no, man, my creative expression really started. I was a closet performer, man. I remember whenever the parents would be gone, on a date night, I would trap myself in the attic, pretending that I was performing in front of people. So performance was something where I really got interested in the creative side of things. Breakdancing, and then forming a rap group, in my high school days. So just being on stage. Are you from the Houston area? I'm from Chicago originally, but yeah, I've been in Houston for the bulk of my life, man. Yeah.
Like in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
And so you were in a hip hop group. What year was that?
This was 90, 96, 97.
Okay, when you were breaking?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Did you ever go to B-Boy City in Austin?
Oh, man. Yes. Well, you know about B-Boy City. What?
Yeah.
Now we're learning some things about each other. Right?
I was friends with Rome.
Okay. Yeah.
So I shot a documentary about it when I was in college and hung out with them for a minute.
How cool is that, man? How cool is that?
Well, and that's okay. So I always found B-boys are inherently super creative because you guys are cruising around, trying to dance everywhere. Everywhere is a performance space. And then what made you want to get into hip hop? I mean, what to MCing?
I was such a closet performer, and in that space, I was also writing poems that it was just really poems to myself. I would always write. So that's where kind of the early days of songwriting, writing lyrics. And then from there, I just kind of little by little started gaining confidence, and then was part of this hip hop group. And I was like, okay, I've been writing a lot of rhymes for in the closet for quite some time. It's time to see and flex and see if I have any MC skills. And it took me a while, but I got there. But I was always intrigued. You mentioned about b-boys. One of the things that really inspired me about hip hop culture, Trey, is that hip hop was. It was an art form. It was very punk rock. It was very, creating something out of nothing. It was even from the DJ element of creating music from break beats, b-boys coming up with different acrobatic moves that was taken from martial arts to old school bebop and jazz moves and James Brown. I mean, it was really creating something out of nothing. And it was just basically just pure essence of creativity through dance. And that was the thing that really intrigued me the most, is just the creativity behind the dance moves. And I loved it, man. I remember I was breakdancing. Well, I got introduced in the 80s, and then b-boying you saw the resurgence, the reemergence of b-boying back like mid 90s. It started coming out. And look at it now, man. It's like blowing up and all over like Red Bull and the Olympics. And it's just crazy to see how far it's come.
Okay. And then how long were you pursuing like your dreams of being like hip hop stardom?
You said, say it again?
Like, how long were you pursuing that dream, like the MC dream?
Man, some say too long.
Are you still following it? Like secretly in the background?
Man, my mixtape is coming out. No, what's really, it's an interesting question, man, because I held on to this dream of making it as a hip hop MC for many years, man. I mean, I did it, above. It was, the bulk of my 20s, even to my 30s, where I was still performing and still just pursuing this thing. And it was really all I knew, man, for a good decade plus of my years of, creating, writing songs and then, performing. But towards the end, Trey, that's where I really started developing my interest in branding, in marketing, in how to sell tickets. I actually created a community called District Soul Promotions, which was for indie hip hop artists, alternative artists. And I was organizing this community, and I was booking the shows, man, and I was selling tickets, and I was, promoting it, passing out flyers. And that's really where I kind of cut my teeth when it comes to marketing and branding and really building businesses and making creativity a business. So yeah, man, it was kind of a smooth transition, but it was a dream that I was holding on, bro, for a long, long time, because I was so passionate about it.
Do you can you remember the moment when you're like, okay, like I've been doing this, but I'm really going to pivot with my heart and mind into marketing and branding? Like, was there any one thing that caused that to happen?
Yeah, it was, my last band, it got disbanded after a while. I think people were just losing motivation. People, the musicians started getting older, having families, and it was just a transition out. It was a smooth transition where we all agreed to say, hey, we did our best. We were able to perform all over, performing in front of some pretty big notable hip hop acts. And we did a lot of things, and we just made it just a collective decision to say, this is going to be the end of this journey. And I had a choice, either continue doing it or get into the entrepreneurship side of things. But yeah, man, it was the last band breakup that did it. And then that's when I started discovering entrepreneurship and started digging into that world a little bit more. Okay.
And then what did that look like? What was those first few years like?
Man, I started, again, a community has always been kind of a theme, Trey, in my world. I started a community called Connected Creatives, and it was centered around helping creative types, learn about entrepreneurship. So I started hosting events and free workshops. From there, shortly after I started that, I stumbled upon two podcasts that were all about entrepreneurship. One of them was specifically about creative entrepreneur. Like, I didn't even know what that word was. It's like a creative entrepreneur. Is that a new thing? And then there, brother, I started digging into
Which was the first one?
The first what?
That first podcast.
It was called No Permission Needed.
No Permission Needed?
And it was a statement. It was a declaration for creators to say, we don't need permission from the record labels, because I came from that world, or we don't need permission from anybody. Let's do it ourselves. And it was very DIY. It was very punk rock kind of like vibe that I wanted to make sure that I share that with the creatives.
And then what was the second one that really inspired you?
Oh, okay. So let me backtrack. correction. So that's the show that I started. The two shows that inspired me. One of them was called Rise to the Top.
Okay.
And then it was a guy named, and there was another one called the Chase Jarvis Live Show. Those are the two shows. And another one called Mixergy, which I believe he's still around. And there were like video podcasts, man. So these guys were like ahead of the game. These were
way back.
Yeah, this is like 2011. Yeah, 2010.
Jeez, I didn't even know they had video podcasts back then.
And that's the thing, man, when people talk about video podcasting becoming a thing now, really, man, video podcast has been around for a long, long time, I think now, because with YouTube and everything else happening and
it's
popularity
just easier to distribute.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's amazing. So yeah, you were like listening, 2011, that's like kind of when people started noticing that app on their phones, like, oh, what's this podcast app? And it still kind of looked like a record player and you'd like cycle through it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you just like heard them and because I heard them too. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But I was never inspired to make my own podcast, even though I probably wanted to. But what made you decide to do it? I mean, you're like talking about you're always community focused.
Because another thing that growing up that I was always like enamored by was, you remember, MTV, back in the MTV days.
Yeah.
I also wanted to be a VJ in addition. I just wanted to be involved behind the mic, man. And I remember a friend of mine, we started a show. We had just had a tape recorder. We would record each other. We would watch MTV. We would do just some silly commentary. And when I heard about podcasting, I was like, this is really interesting. I'm like, I love community. I want to help the creative culture, because after I left the music industry, I was like, I'm really inspired to help other creatives learn branding and marketing and entrepreneurship. I feel like it was a great way for creatives to kind of transition into a different level. And man, I was just like, I love the education. I love this platform. And I'm like, I always wanted to have like my own show. I'm like, okay, so you mean to tell me that I could just get a microphone, get a laptop, and I can plug in and do this RSS feed thing and get global distribution? And I was like, I could do that now, at no cost, or at least a minimal cost. And I was like, this is my opportunity. So I started my first podcast, man, and just gave myself permission to be able to have my own show. So that was kind of the inspiration behind it.
So and the first one, what was it called again? I know you just said.
It was called No Permission Needed.
Okay, No Permission Needed. And what was sort of the format and what were you doing on it?
Interviews, man. I was just doing a bunch of interviews. One of the things that was really exciting for me, again, was through these shows that inspired me to start the podcast. I was like, well, these guys are interviewing some of the top dogs in their industry. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool to be able to like connect and interview other experts who I admire and just give myself permission to get them on the passenger seat of the show, build a relationship, and then have them, help me and my audience learn about entrepreneurship. So I felt like it was a win-win situation, man. Okay. So that was the approach I took, interviews.
Yeah, I feel like that's one thing I've noticed more so now that I've started interviewing people, is how people are really beholden to you. Like when you're interviewing someone, they really have to just like sit down and listen to you asking the questions that are interested, like you can, driving the conversation is so important. And I don't think that's something that maybe I was aware of before I started like talking to people. Because I've always interviewed people like off camera, behind the camera, for stories and for documentaries where like I'm just letting them speak. I'm kind of like letting them feel comfortable, and hopefully they give me something where it's like very unguarded. But it's a little bit different when it's a back and forth conversation.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Trey. I'm curious, because you've done so many interviews now, what have you learned about yourself in the art of conversation by conducting all these interviews?
I'm very hesitant to insert. I mean, I still am. I'm very hesitant to insert myself into the conversation. That doesn't come naturally. But I am really, I'm very comfortable like listening to people and just kind of like drilling down on ideas that they bring out, but like with very short questions. So I think that for it to be a better back and forth conversation here on the podcast and in real life, like I think with my friends, I probably don't open up as much as I could, and they don't probably get to know me as much as they could, because I'm like, oh, tell me about what's going on in your life, and I forget to share what's going on in mine.
Growing up, were you a curious kid?
Yeah, I was very curious.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because I remember always wanting to know more about other people, and I like you. I'm just I like to ask questions, but when it comes to me, it takes me a minute for me to be able to share. Which is when I started doing more solo shows, it was really challenging for me to change up the format from interviews to talking about the things that I know. It was just weird. Just even though I'm sharing and teaching, I'm like, it just feels weird coming from me. It took me a minute. Taking me a minute, but yeah, curiosity. I think curiosity makes the best interviewers. I think if you come into it with, I've noticed, I could tell being in the space, and I've seen a lot of interviewers, and I can tell when the interviewer is in it for a monetary gain or for a gain that's outside of just simply being curious and really wanting to know what the other person wants to share.
Yeah, I mean, because essentially it's a hard thing. Like, I have to connect with you, like in front of people, essentially, or not really. We can't see them, but people will listen to this and hear us connecting with each other. And then you have to like make it something that's fun to listen to as well. So it's not just like, well, that was cool. Like that was a good conversation they had, but it's not keeping my interest. Those are some hard things to learn. Yeah, like when I was a kid though, my creative output was always writing. So my mom was we lived in a small town and she was the museum docent for this like natural history museum that was in the mall. And so one of the people that would like volunteer with her started a newspaper. And so it was literally just like a bunch of kids going around the mall, like asking, hey, what's up? What's going on? And then we like expanded it beyond the mall. We started talking to the dog pound, the animal shelter, the schools and stuff. So.
Oh, right on. So you were doing journalism, huh? I mean, just grassroots, just kind of getting out there asking questions.
Yes, like
that's awesome.
As a 9-year-old.
As a 9-year-old, I mean, that's impressive, man. I mean,
I guess.
I'm an 8-year-old. I'm like, man, 9-year-old doing that? That's pretty impressive. Do you find yourself, you ever look back, and this is a question I always ask myself and like to ask other creatives, the video work that you're doing now, do you feel like those skill sets, being in journalism, writing and asking questions, do you feel like all those skill sets helped you to the work that you're currently doing with video work?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that like I'm sure you feel the same way. Like all of the creative work you do builds on itself. Nothing you do creatively is like in vain. It might not be seen by people and it might not be successful, but it's not in vain. It's going to help you down the line.
Yeah. All full circle, right?
Totally. Yeah. So tell me about this. So what are you doing now? Like so you started Punk Rock Statement, interviewing people. Were they all people in Houston? Were you interviewing people all around the country?
Yeah, man. You know, it's, they were all over the world, man. All over the world. One of them that really stood out, it was really cool. His name was Derek Sivers, who he's still around. And he had a company back then. I think they're still around, but he was the founder. It was called cdbaby.com. And it was the first online distribution for indie artists. So you were able to upload. I don't know if you remember CD Baby, but they were huge. And so I got to meet and have Derek Sivers. Actually, he was on episode 3. I got to interview him, and I just simply shot my shot. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm starting this new show. I'm a nobody, but love your work. I have my CDs on cdbaby.com. Would love to have you on." And he hit me back. I was like, let's make it happen. And I was like, what? So, I right out the gate, man, I had some solid interviews, and it really changed my whole lens of like, oh man, this is crazy. How there's this huge opportunity for people who maybe don't have a personal brand just yet, but an opportunity for us to really build relationships with some people that were untouchable before, but now we can have them on the show. And then we can start building a relationship. And since then, I mean, this was many years ago, we still keep in touch. And he's traveling the world. But it was pretty cool, man, as an artist who admired and really respected his platform, to have him, the founder, on the show. So yeah, man, that was pretty dope. It was a cool moment.
Okay. And so is that podcast still going? Or does it ended and you're doing other stuff now?
So I currently have a show called Creator Factor. I look back, Trey, and I'm like, I can't, a friend of mine is like, are you going to do anything outside of like creators and creatives, Ozeal? I'm like, I am so passionate about helping other creatives, creators,
Mm-hmm.
or entrepreneurship, man. I love, like, even this conversation, brother. Like, this energizes me. And
Yeah,
I
same.
love this opportunity. Same, right? You can
Yeah.
relate to that. Just the opportunity for us to be able to connect and just share. I want to
love
hear
it
your
so
story,
much.
Trey. Yeah, man. And it's just, I love it. And I love speaking with my people. I love talking to other creators because they get it. They get where our mind is at. They get the fact that it's been a chaotic journey and there's all these things that haven't been just straight, lines. I love
Mm-hmm.
having those conversations, man. So the show's called Creator Factor. It's helping business-minded content creators build businesses and brands online. So that's essentially what we're doing here. Actually creeping up to 100 episodes here soon. I'm like 94. Yeah, man. And so yeah, that's a current show. Passionate about helping the creators, and that's what I got going on so far, man, with the show.
Okay.
Although I have been thinking about bringing back No Permission Needed on a different side. Man, that might be an exclusive, but we'll see because I just love the name. But
Yeah,
anyways,
it's a
more on
good
that
name.
later. Yeah.
What are you drinking, by the way?
Oh, glad you asked. Dude, I've been getting into tea lately. So this is a Moroccan mint tea.
Okay.
And I don't know, dude. Are you a tea drinker?
I
Tea,
love
coffee?
tea and coffee. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so you're
I'm
my guy.
drinking coffee right now.
What are you drinking? Like what kind? Black?
It's a
Sugar?
black coffee.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah.
You're the real coffee drinker, man.
I mean, I like them all.
Cheers.
I like them all.
Cheers. Yeah.
I usually start my day off with a flat white that I make at home. Like I have an espresso machine.
You're the real deal over there, man. Look
I
at
got
that
another
fancy.
one. Look, I got another one right here too.
I see it, dude. See, that's what I need in my life right now.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But I like that Moroccan mint tea a bunch. I have some of that too.
I've been getting into teas, man. One of the things, I had a friend of mine who's a big tea connoisseur, and he was like, "Oh, you need to start. There's a lot of benefits in tea." And he knows I'm like a avid coffee drinker.
Yeah.
And I started getting into like loose leaf teas, man, like just oolong. This is actually just a tea bag, but normally I have actually a tea over there where I brew it, and it's like loose leaf tea and green teas and matcha and all that good stuff. So
That's
yeah,
good.
man.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's because I'm getting older or not, but I definitely I used to have like 5 or 6 coffees a day, and lately the afternoon coffee hasn't been settling well.
Okay.
I might need to stick.
What's your max?
Well, I probably just need to drink the 5 or 6 in the morning. It's just the afternoon.
Dude, you gotta be beat. So you're doing 5 or 6 in the morning, what daily?
No, I've had this is my first. So
Okay. Oh man,
it
you're
just
late,
really-
bro. You're late.
it just
Come on,
depends. I don't know.
Okay. I've had 3 cups of coffee already, so probably it's the reason why I'm bringing this energy.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, this is my energy all the time. Like nothing is different. I'm always at this
man.
level. So, okay, now that you got a podcast going, you're doing all this fun stuff, you're interviewing all these cool people. How did you turn that into a business? Because this is how you earn your living, right?
Yeah, so it's part of how I earn a living. Yes. So
Okay.
I started initially making money coaching. So I was one of the early, podcast coaches here locally in Houston that was, coaching, we had business owners and even indie creators. I was doing it through digital courses,
Mm-hmm.
hosting paid workshops. People would hire me to consult them on their podcast launches, and that's still the bulk of my income is consulting. I've been not doing so many like indie creators, although I'm working on putting together a membership and something for my indie podcasters. But lately I've been consulting with a lot of B2B companies now, and actually even some SaaS companies that have actually hired me for consulting on helping them launch their show. So yeah, it's shifted a bit, but consulting is basically the main source.
Okay, that's awesome. So your passion turned into a skill that's like at this point in time highly coveted,
Yeah.
and so you're able to like be a consultant, which is kind of the best thing because everyone respects you. You walk in, you don't have to be there all the time, but when you do come in, everyone's like excited to see you. Like, what up? It's our favorite guy.
I would hope so, bro. I would hope so. Yeah,
I always feel that
it's
way.
fun, man.
I always feel that way as a video creator when I walk into, because that's our business, Audion's business is doing basically B2B video. And so when we walk in, people are always like, oh man, it's the guys who are always in a good mood. You're like, yeah, of course. Like,
Yeah.
I just get to hang out and like do fun stuff every day.
I feel like when I see video like creators come into the room, man, I feel like y'all command like the room, because I know when I see, like, I was actually at a coffee house not too long ago and I saw a guy pull up right next to me, and he pulls out his, you know, his gimbal and his recording equipment, and he had a nice little Sony, and I just looked at him. I was like, oh my God, he's so cool. That is so cool. And he was, you know, he was doing a vlog. And I feel like that always kind of catches attention, man. Consultants, I mean, you know, if we look the part, we're like, hey, that's the guy. But you guys can go to any room and strangers will be like, those guys are YouTubers are doing something cool, you know?
Yeah. Mostly I get guys just like 10 years older than me that want to tell me about their bird photos.
Is that what? Here, let me show you.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hey, look at this. That's a beautiful hawk.
Hey, if you ever want to shoot, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so you're in Fort Bend, right?
Yeah, man. Yep.
What part of Fort Bend?
Sugarland, Texas.
So we live in the same city. What's your?
We're neighbors, bro. We should be doing this live. I should be there drinking coffee with you, man.
What's your coffee shop you go to? Cohico or
Oh,
Day6?
well, you know about Cohico. Come on. Okay, listen, if anybody's watching this, are we with this video, of course, right? And audio? Okay. All right, yeah. And I hate sharing this because I feel like it's such a hidden gem, Trey. Cohico, for the selected few.
Yeah.
We're all friends here, is arguably one of my favorite coffee houses.
It's great.
In this area. Cohico. What else? It's another one. I know we have a what's another one that I go to?
Blended and Day6 are the
Blended.
three.
Yeah, Blended. Day6, I went there, dude, but the Wi-Fi was pretty whack on me. I don't know if it was like, and this was like post, like right after COVID, so maybe I didn't, you know, give it a chance. I need to go back there, but the vibe is cool.
Yeah, I take my kids to the bookstore that's right next to it.
Right next to Half Price.
And then we go sit. Or they do.
I feel like it's one of those coffee houses where it's just you just want to sit and chill, right? Not do so much work, but just relax.
Totally.
That's the vibe. Yeah.
That is the vibe there.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Okay. I need to go back there. I feel
and
like
they have a pretty good bakery. I'm like not as into the food there, but a lot of people are like, oh man, I love the kolaches there. So
what's one restaurant in Sugarland that you would recommend? That anybody who's listening or watching this from Houston or anywhere, when they come to Sugarland, it's like, you got to try this spot. What would it be?
Well, my favorite restaurant is a Vietnamese restaurant called Pho Ben on Highway 6. I go there all the time. I get the soup. I bring people there all the time. They're like, this is the best soup, you know? So
yeah, Pho Ben.
But if I like, I don't know, because I have three teenager kids. We don't go out to eat a ton. So when we do go out to eat, it's usually at like, they just basically want to go to Cane's or Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like,
what about Brandani's over on in Missouri Cities is pretty good.
Hold on. What is that one called?
Brandani's.
How do you spell that?
Brandani.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they have a fancy, so they have two restaurants right next to each other. One's a fancy one and it's got good food, and then one is just a hamburger shop, and it's great. It's a great hamburger place.
Okay. How long have you been in Sugarland?
7 years.
Wow. Okay.
Like I moved in, and then 2 weeks or a week later we had to evacuate for Harvey.
Oh man, that was during that time. Oof.
So yeah, because we were gonna stay, and then the fire department came through and was like, "Hey, you're in a like a declared flood zone, and we won't rescue you if it floods." And we have the creek we have Oyster Creek right behind our house, and so I was like, "Well, as much as I don't want to leave, I'm gonna leave."
Yeah, smart. Yeah, and Harvey was no joke, so it was a good move.
Harvey was We didn't have any flooding on our street in our neighborhood, but it felt lucky. What about you? Where is your place to go?
Dude, yeah, that's a tough one because before that I lived in the city, so I lived in Houston. So I lived in the Montrose area, so there was a bunch of really cool spots back then, which are probably not around anymore. But here in Sugarland, you know, man, I'm looking. I don't eat out a lot as well. Dude, I was happy when I saw when we had La Tapatia. Have you been to La Tapatia here? Right here off of 59 and
I haven't been there. No.
University. Okay. So it's a Mexican restaurant, and there was one that I used to go to when I lived in Montrose on Richmond. And it was just, pretty good Mexican food, Tex-Mex food. And they have one not right down the street from where I live. So,
Okay.
yeah, man. I guess La Tapatia would be my my spot. I don't have too many choices. Pho Ben, I do like Pho Ben. It's right down the street. So,
Yeah.
I love
Oh, yeah.
Vietnamese.
There is Highway 6 by the mall. There's a Mexican seafood place, Lago Marisco.
I have not been there.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like the soups a lot. I'm a soup guy.
I'm writing down. Oh, you are soup. Okay. Some Vietnamese makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, my mom made a lot of soups when I was growing up.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been a soup person, man. It's crazy. I was talking to somebody, and they also invited me, like, you don't eat soup, or we're talking. I was like, I just never been a soup person. But again, yeah, I didn't grow up around it, man. It was just, yeah.
I think my mom was always like, probably she was like trying to make, the meals
big
last
stew.
longer.
Yeah.
So she's like, let me just put it in a pot and add
Put
water.
a batch together.
Now we have soup.
Put some meat, stir it. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Soup it up.
Are there any other parts of your marketing business that don't involve podcasting? Like, do you do any other creative stuff, like branding or graphic design for people?
I don't. I don't do any graphic design. I definitely connect with others, actually here locally that help out with where I'll delegate.
So you'll just like sub it out?
Yeah, I'll sub it out. However, when it comes to consulting, I've been doing a lot more brand strategy. And really, and it's really interesting because before, Trey, like my business model has really evolved. I was doing a lot of, just kind of podcast launches.
Mm-hmm.
And those were great back then. Now I feel like there's so many moving parts, especially now with video coming into play, and everybody wants to start a video podcast. So it's going in that direction. I've been more of the guy now where I feel like one of my superpowers is really helping with the branding side of things. I feel like a lot of podcasters who come into this space, they want to get in front of a camera, they want to get behind a mic, they want to put it on YouTube and on Apple, but they don't have like a branding strategy. So I feel like it's like a much needed step that gets overlooked a lot. So I'm helping a lot of even established podcasters now look at their brand strategy, be like, okay, you're investing money into this. Let's go ahead and assess your goals, your objectives, and where do you want the show to be? If it's just a community builder or just a relationship builder, great. If this is something that's tied into your business objectives, great. Let's look at the brand strategy. So it's really interesting, man. It's shifted. I'm doing a lot more brand strategy now more than ever when it comes to content marketing in general. So it's been pretty cool to see that evolve. I enjoy that.
And then one thing I always like ask everybody, because we're kind of at the 30-minute mark, is how is AI intersecting with what you're doing right now? Because it's affecting everybody. And I feel like since this is a business podcast, we got to talk about it.
I always ask myself before I do any task, even as a marketer, can AI make this easier for me?
Okay.
And I'm finding it to always lead to yes, and yes. I am definitely integrating AI in all my workflows, production, post-production, my marketing, everything. So it's been a game changer for me, man. I know a lot of marketers have, especially the creators have some resistance about it. I think it's here. I think it's helpful. I think it's more than a tool. People were saying it's just a tool. No, I think it's your digital teammate. It's a game changer, and I'm excited, and I'm actually even learning even more about AI because as a creator, I think it's only going to 10x our creativity even more. So yeah, I feel like you cannot ignore it. Either if you ignore it, you're going to get left behind, and I truly believe that.
What are the platforms you're using right now then?
Yeah, so I am using tools like Cast Magic that will repurpose a video or a piece of audio content into different digital assets that you can promote and market your show on. I'm definitely using ChatGPT. I'm getting really into agent mode. What else? What are some other ones? I definitely use Claude, Perplexity.
Yeah.
A lot of the usual suspects. There's a lot of tools, man. I know there's a website called There's an AI for That or something like that .com. and apparently has a bunch of AI tools. That pretty much, if you could just put a search and be like, "This is what I wanted to do,"
Okay.
it'll definitely do it. So
Yeah. Yeah. The two I've used the most are, I guess, ChatGPT and Gemini. And I mean,
what's the difference? Do you see like one has
I feel like
more than the other?
ChatGPT, you develop a stronger, this is going to sound so goofy, but you develop a stronger relationship with the AI agent, and it remembers the conversations in a
Mhm.
way that Gemini won't. And so you can develop like for things like, I want to develop a brand strategy. I want to develop assets for this idea. It will be able to follow that through and remember those statements of fact that you give it, versus Gemini, every conversation is a new conversation, at
Oh,
least
okay.
the
Okay.
version I'm using. But
Yeah.
Gemini has like all of the image creation tools that seem to be really incredible. I know that ChatGPT does too. They're always like introducing new things, but I would say that Gemini for like sort of image creation stuff, and ChatGPT seems to be able to help me like work through ideas better.
Are you fearful that AI could take your job away as a video creator?
Um, I don't know if it's gonna like take the job that I have away, because a lot of what I do is like interviewing people and
Yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
people, but I do think that it will radically change the workflow. Like, I think that it might be
Mhm.
possible for ChatGPT, like in the future, maybe 10 years, you could have a camera that has a link, like a Cat 6 link or whatever cable we're using at that point. So over NDI into your computer, and the person you're interviewing could have like all the settings that make the image look great. Um, and I would be like a remote producer, or not needed at all, just like more from a consulting standpoint.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like, I do think that like, I think it just depends on how far we like take it as a society, right?
Mm.
Uh, but I mean, I think at some point people will be like, okay, well, that's too much AI. I don't know. Maybe we won't.
Yeah. Yeah. Exciting times ahead for sure.
Yeah. But it does seem like people are trying to automate every job.
Yeah, we're seeing that. I think I saw an article not too long ago, man, where even like financial like advisors or accountants, excuse me, how they're like now companies are hiring these, you know, outsourcing it to AI agents to be able to do basically all their accounting. So it's definitely a disruptor, but
Yeah.
that's why I say just stay ahead of the game. If whatever industry you're in, stay ahead of the game, because I think it could be a major asset for what we currently do. So I'm optimistic about AI, man.
Yeah. I'm probably like more cautious, optimistic, but also very cautious. Like, oh, this is such a big change. It's hard to say what will happen.
That is true. Yeah, that's true.
Also, I think it like depends on the people at the top, like how much they want to work with. I mean, people are generally like, for companies, the biggest wild card.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I feel like, at least with a lot of the companies I work with, getting new employees and making sure that they're reliable is always like their number one concern. Creating videos that highlight their culture and like why they're a good company to work for is like, I feel like that's kept me employed for 15 years. Um, and so if they don't have to worry about like having employees quit because of
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I saw somebody put a graph that it's going to be like what the future workplace looks like. And it was really interesting. And it was really, man, it was like 50-50. It was just like real humans, being directors, but it
mm-hmm.
was also like it was like a digital team. Like it was, and they were naming them like, this is Sally, this is Jesse. And they were just digital AI agents that were specialized in certain things. And there's going to be directors that are going to be directing those AI agents. So I think it's important for us as creative directors. I think we're
Yeah.
going to have to play more of the director role of like really understanding how we can use this so it could help out with workflows or any of the tasks that we normally do. So it's going to get really, really interesting. Yeah, I'm like you. I feel you. I'm optimistic, but I'm definitely cautious. And I know that it's scared for me to especially somebody who believes in community and real human interaction, to think, man, it's crazy to even think of the possibility of 10 years from now of like just having these, AI agents or fake people around you, like more integrated in our daily lives, where you don't know if it's a real human or not. We're going to need some ID, sir. It's pretty scary, dude. I mean, but yeah. It's going to,
Would you like my digital ID?
Right? Exactly.
I will generate that for you.
Pretty much. I'm telling you, that's going to happen, man. I would not be surprised. So.
There are a lot of users currently. It will take longer than expected. No!
I know. What?
All right, well, how do people hear you? Hopefully they didn't get too distracted by all of our talk about restaurants and coffee.
I know.
But if they're like, man, I got to talk to Ozeal, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, man. All right, so creatorfactor.net. Check out the podcast. We'd love to get your feedback. We'd love for you to listen. Also have a YouTube channel at Ozeal, and then on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at The Real Ozeal, REAL, Ozeal, OZEAL. So let's connect and just say hello and let me know what was your biggest takeaway from this podcast episode. Maybe it was maybe our recommendation. You never know. We may have a Sugarland. I'm sure you have a Sugarland audience, Trey. So maybe they.
Well, I think we should do like a Fort Bend creative meetup. Maybe there's all of us creatives that have gone out to Fort Bend. Probably need to hang out.
You got me excited. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that.
All right. Thank you guys. Talk to you later.
Peace.
That's right. Peace.